We're doing lesson number 12 in the role of the church in the community, and the title is Urban Ministry in the End Times. And the first paragraph says, the three angels' messages call for the gospel to be preached to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people. Thus, wherever people live, the message must be brought to them, and because so many now live in the cities to the cities we must go. Can someone tell me what the three angels' message is? What is the message of the three angels' messages? God, love of God, character of God. Here's a description from one of the founders of our church. It's found in Christ Triumphant, page 338. The proclamation of the first and second and third angels' messages has been located by the word of inspiration. The first and second messages were given in 1843 and 1844, and we are now under the proclamation of the third. But all three of the messages are still to be proclaimed. It is just as essential now as ever before that they shall be repeated to those who are seeking for the truth. By pen and voice, we are to sound the proclamation, showing their order and the application of the prophecies that bring us to the third angel's message. There cannot be a third without a first and a second. Then I saw another angel flying in midair, and he had the eternal gospel to proclaim to those who live on the earth, to every nation, tribe, language, and people. He said in a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come. Worship him who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and the spring of water. This message, if heeded, will call the attention of every nation and kindred and tongue and people to a close examination of the word and to the true light in regard to the power that has changed the seventh-day Sabbath to the spurious Sabbath. The Sabbath memorial declaring who the living God is, the creator of the heaven and the earth, has been torn down, and a spurious Sabbath has been given to the world in its place. Thus a breach has been made in the law of God. In the first angel's message, people are called upon to worship God, our creator, who made the world and all things therein. The message proclaimed by the angel flying in the midst of heaven is the everlasting gospel, the same gospel that was declared in Eden. So, pause. What do you hear? I'm wondering, as you hear this, are you being influenced by tradition and the way the Adventist church historically will take writings like this and tell you it means a certain thing? Or are you filtering it through design law and hearing something else? What do you hear is being said?
Where was that from?
This is Christ Triumphant, page 338. Okay, so first question. Are we now in the time of the three angels?
Yes.
I would say so.
Oh, I tricked you guys. Or are we in the time of the fourth angel? Do you know what the fourth angel is? Revelation 18, 1 through 3. After these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, the hold of every foul spirit, a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And from Maranatha 173, Ellen White writing, the three angels' messages are to be combined, giving their threefold light to the world. In Revelation, John says, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. This represents the giving of the last and threefold message of warning to the world. Revelation 18 points to the time when, as a result of rejecting the threefold warning of Revelation 14, 6 through 12, the church will have fully reached the condition foretold by the second angel, and the people of God still in Babylon will be called upon to separate from her communion. This message is the last that will ever be given to the world, and it will be accomplished, and it will accomplish its work. When those that believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness, shall be left to receive strong delusion and to believe a lie, then the light of truth will shine upon all those whose hearts are open to receive it. And then, out of Christ Triumphant 350, the light that we have upon the third angel's message is the true light. The mark of the beast is exactly what it's been proclaimed to be. All in regard to this matter is not yet understood, and will not be understood until the unrolling of the scroll, but a most solemn work is to be accomplished in our world. So what do you hear? What do you hear being said here? This is what I heard, is that in the 19th century, the first, second, and third angel's message was given. In the 19th century, over 100 years ago. But And that was described in Revelation 14. But Revelation 18 describes that another angel comes, meaning another group of people arise, to repeat the message of those angels. To be given one time, but this time the message is not given, here's the first angel, here's the second, and then a period of time, we finally get to the third. It is a combined message that it's cohesive and it's all together with, it says, all in regard to this matter is not yet understood, with new understanding, with new insight that was never presented before. That's what I hear is going on. So what is the message for today? And I'm going to share some ideas that I think might be this integrated message with new insight that we've never heard before. Anybody want to?
Well, the first, second, and third are about God's character. We talk about the description of God's character of love, and then with the Babylon system of chaos, and the third one being, here's the consequences if you walk one way. And that particular presentation has been given for over 100 years. But what law lens has it been presented through historically? Here.
The imposed law lens. And when that first, I'm going to go back to that first quote. That first quote said the following, and I want you to notice. It says, we'll call attention to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people to close examination of the word and to the true light in regard to the power that changed the seventh day Sabbath to the spurious Sabbath. The attention is drawn to the power that changed it. However, most Adventists read this and they say attention is drawn to the change of the Sabbath. That's how most people read this. That there's been a breach in the law and where our attention is drawn to the change in the law. That is not what is actually said. What is actually said is our attention is drawn to the power that changed the law. Now, what is the power that changed the law? It's imperialism. It's an imposed law construct. It's this idea that God's law functions no different than the types of laws you and I make. It's operating at level 4 moral development. That you've got a rule, and if you break a rule, justice requires the ruling authority investigate, make a judgment, a determination, and then once the judgment is made, inflict the proper punishment for that. This has infected the entire Christian world, and the first and second and third angels' messages originally given by our church was given through the same law lens, and they come back and they say, and if you got the wrong day, then you're going to be judged, and you're going to be found to have worshiped on the wrong day, which means you broke the rule and you didn't keep the rule that was given, and therefore God will punish you because you have the mark of the beast. This is very, very, in other words, this is not the message of the three angels when it's given that way. It's presenting the same dictator God who was presented in the beastly system. And you know what makes the system beastly? Think how do beasts work? How do beasts work?
Force.
Coercion, force, they tear, they shred, do it my way or else. No one can buy or sell save him who has the mark of the beast. What method? Coercion, coercive pressure. And thus when we present God as a God who says, worship me or I'll be forced by holiness and righteousness to punish you and ultimately kill you and torture you before I kill you, then you're presenting God as the beast. It is only when we come back to see, worship him who made the heavens, the earth, worship the designer, the creator, and understand that God's ways are not our ways. His ways are higher. His laws are the protocols upon which reality is built. The predominant one, God is love, and he's created everything to operate on the protocols of love, the principle of giving. Every breath you take, remember, give away carbon dioxide to the plants. Plants give back oxygen to you. A never-ending circle of giving upon which life is actually constructed. These are God's laws, and there's so many of them. We're not going to go into all today, but they're all design protocols. And every breach of one of his laws is destructive to the person who breaks the law. And thus, God is always in the business of reaching out to those who are out of harmony with his design and working with them to bring them back in harmony, to heal, to set right. What's another word for setting right? Justification or atonement, putting at one again. That's right. But we, when we see it through the imposed laws construct, atonement means appeasement. Justification means paying the legal penalty, being declared to be right even though you're still not right. And you create these arbitrary constructs that don't bring peace. They keep us afraid of God. And so we have a God who is the judge looking out to find everything that's wrong with us. And if we don't have somebody standing between us and God to protect us from him, then he's going to use his power to torture us and kill us in the end. And that doesn't bring peace. That doesn't bring reconciliation. That brings division. So here's how I see the three angels' messages.